rights to protest President Trump's immigration policies. Let's listen into this, their live broadcast on Fox LA.
Doing here, as you can see, they've deployed one flank here and another flank here, and they will often do this during protests when they want to disperse them. They try to keep the crowd away from each other, from forming one large crowd. So they're dividing them and forcing them in different directions, and that appears to be the strategy here right now.
Christy, do we know of any arrests so far?
Yes. I'm sorry, what's that?
Do we know of any arrests so far?
So far, we've not seen anyone being arrested. They just appear to be dispersing the crowd, but I've not gotten an update from the LAPD, so I cannot tell you that with any certainty. I have personally, though, not witnessed any arrests.
And Christy, we saw over the weekend that they took over the freeways at some point. It seems like there's a strong effort to keep people off the freeways tonight.
There definitely is. The LAPD was blocking the entrance to the 101 here at Aliso and Main, and also we saw the CHP. In fact, if we pan down that way, actually it's blocked, so you will not be able to make it. But the CHP has blocked some of the off-ramps from the 101 freeway here as well in an attempt to keep people from going onto the freeway. But I got to tell you, we've been here all day long, and as I said, the crowd was very different earlier. There's lots of families, and they didn't show any real interest, as far as I could tell, in taking the freeway. Right now, though, it's a much younger crowd. As we're hearing, you could probably hear it there in the distance, people being kind of rowdy with, again, burning rubber and so forth, and throwing items at the police as they're trying to clear them out. So we really saw a shift also in the energy here and who was here.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday it started about noontime, I'm going to estimate, and then it lasted until late last night. Yes, the 101 was taken over for some time yesterday, and of course that was the same day as the Grammys. You see the bottle there, looks like a beer bottle.
And as we know, when they declare an unlawful assembly, that means that right now all the protests, oh, there's a skirmish, all the protesters are technically in violation of the law right now. So that gives the LAPD the right to start making arrests if these people don't leave in a reasonable amount of time.
However, I could not hear the dispersal order, Alex.
Okay.
It was made over the helicopter, but I could not hear it, and so I don't know how many people here have heard it.
Yeah, oftentimes they'll do that over loudspeakers and say it repeatedly to try to give people time. We're also looking at the Mexico flag. Christy, I'm curious, what is the ratio we see of Mexican flags compared to maybe American flags out there?
I'm sorry, Alex, I can't hear what you're asking.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of El Salvadorian flags as well. Mexican flags we've seen. I haven't seen any American flags thus far. I'm not sure if you have, Alex, in all the coverage.
There are American flags. I've seen multiple throughout the day, and sometimes people will be flying both.
So in terms of what we're looking at now, again, that the dispersal order has been made. So it's a question now of trying to get these protesters out of the area. And hopefully all this can happen in a peaceful way. What's the main message, Christy, that you're hearing from a lot of the protesters today that you're talking to?
What I'm hearing is that a lot of people here are saying that immigrants built this country and should be respected. And we've also talked to multiple people who tell us they are American citizens themselves, but they're here for family members who are documented, and they want to speak and draw attention to their plight as well. They tell us many are now at home afraid to leave their home. And there were lots of people here today, too. There was a man who came. He was actually walking with a cane, and he brought his family who was visiting from Dallas. They all came down with they brought their American passports and their American birth certificates, but they said that they wanted to be here. And you can see police. Telling people to leave. Some of them are standing there where they are not moving. Some of them have their cell phones out. Appear to be reporting some cases, live streaming this.
And this isn't just limited to the city of Los Angeles. We saw the crowd earlier in in Orange County and Santa Ana. It's officially a day without migrants. That's what they're calling this day. This unlawful assembly declared just a few minutes ago. So far, no word of any arrest, but that could soon change because, to Alex's point, now that they have officially declared it an unlawful assembly, given them enough time, them being the protesters, to take note of that, then they are in violation of the law if they do not disperse.
And we know that there is a...
About the message, I can read you some of the signs if you like. I mean, there's a woman there standing there. She says that her parents work harder than our president. There's others that say that I don't believe in borders. Others, signs that we're seeing are just taking issue with. There's one that is an anti-fascism sign. Another one that says, we stand together, we speak for those who can't. Those are the types of signs we're seeing. We just heard maybe a firecracker go off. Actually, no, it was a foam baton. So apparently the LAPD is now deploying those foam batons. So essentially, instead of rubber bullets, they now use, it's like a foam projectile that they will shoot into the crowd, and it leaves behind a canister. And what I've seen in the past at other protests is that sometimes they will pick up the canister and throw it back at police. But that indicates that that was just fired, and I think that's what we heard.
So as we know, as you're watching this, there is a constitutional right to protest in this country. You're allowed to have your say, but there are limits on that. And oftentimes, protests, especially in downtown Los Angeles, will get permits. They will work with the LAPD on a process sometimes of shutting down streets to allow people to have their right and have their say. Okay,
so, yes.
Things are getting escalating here. But then it sometimes gets to a point where the LAPD feels like it is now endangering public safety. You do not have a constitutional right to shut down a street. You do not have a constitutional right to get into a freeway. You do not have a constitutional right to step in front of somebody's car. Police have an opportunity or an ability under the law to step in and try to enact order, which seems to be what's happening here right now. And we're seeing the after effects of that as well. As we know, this issue of immigration is something that's very personal for so many people in Southern California. Most Americans do like the concept of borders based off of polling, but the topic of birthright citizenship, which is something that the Trump administration is trying to end, which has been guaranteed in the Constitution for generations, basically means if you are born here, even if your parents are undocumented, you are an American citizen. And so what we're seeing a lot of today, according to Christie's reporting, is kids who are American citizens, but their parents may not be. That is something the Trump administration is actively trying to stop. They have an executive order on that, which is being challenged, which could go to the United States Supreme Court. And that is one of the many things that people are fired up about as we look on the streets of downtown Los Angeles. And Christie, it seems like they're pushing everybody back. As we look at some of the reporters and photographers, I think, from the LA Times that are there that Christie may have just said hello to. Seems like they're moving people back.
We need more room. Back up.
Not sure if Christie can hear us.
You can hear the LAPD officer saying we need more room back up. And yes, they are pushing people away. And on social media, on X, LAPD Central Division put out a statement saying that the incident commander for the demonstration at Aliso Arcadia on Los Angeles Street has issued a dispersal order right there at that location. All those who remain may be subject to arrest. Route of travel is northbound Los Angeles to Cesar Chavez. So it does look like they are making progress to push the crowd back. As to where they will all disperse to, we'll see. But now, LAPD officers making a run for it somewhere else.
Yeah, some more LAPD resources, Alex and Marla, have just come in. pushing them in multiple directions, in 4 different directions right now, trying to get them to leave the downtown LA area and also to prevent them from forming one larger group. You can see they have deployed those foam batons that I meant. You can hear them being fired right now as we speak. And also, we're still hearing cars burning rubber. And we're seeing the smoke from that. But at time to time, we're also seeing what appear to be maybe firecrackers or fireworks being thrown at police officers here, as well as oranges and water bottles, and also glass bottles as well. We're seeing the LAPD airship above us. You can see some people seem to be moving in the direction that the police are asking them to go to, but others are not. They're still staying here, as you can tell from all around us. So there are the skirmish line moving towards Placita Olvera, but now another one is forming, moving back towards Aliso and Maine. They did manage to break up this group into two groups. You can see people on the megaphone.
Catch that! Are you